There we go. I think the mic is working. There we go. I think the mic is... Yep, I hear myself. Joey Fire says I suck at telling jokes, so I don't. That's all right. Let me see if I can think of a quick one, real quick here. What do you get when you cross an ape with a lawyer? As we do the old lawyer jokes here. I'll give you a minute to do that one. And while you're, popping and answering, if you've heard it before, tell it, that's fine. I am the Angry Wrench. This is the Angry Wrench Speak Show. I do topics usually about politics, social issues, economic issues, healthcare in America, whatever. Sometimes universal stuff worldwide or whatever, but usually it's more focused here because I have, more viewers here. But I've been doing it 30-30 now, and I'm going to stick with that time frame, I think, because I do have some people overseas that like to watch it too when they're, if they're not busy or whatever, because I think it's like 8:30 or 9:30 their time, so that's cool. So now, see, now I got to remember what the hell joke I told. See, why you got to be like that, geek? You're supposed to remind me of this stuff. God, I hate my brain. Okay. Oh. Okay, where's my, there's my, what do you call it? My Thingamajabber Mahajum Hoozits by Showrunner. Okay. Batman. As y'all sit there while I'm trying to figure out what the hell I said. I don't think it was a joke about politics. I don't remember. So if you say the joke in the chat, then I will remember it because I will remember the punchline. Try that again. I will remember the punchline. I will. Honestly, I will. Let's see. All right, here. There, I can see the chat box a little better. All right, just doing some minor adjustment here. Oh, there we go. What do you get when you cross an ape and a lawyer? Nothing. There's some things even apes won't do. So no, I mean, that's literally like 30, 40 years old, whatever. So, people probably heard it before. All right, so today's show, I'm not going to be throwing up any pictures. I'm not really going to be throwing up any data, at least on the show itself. Okay, today's show is about, it's going to be me talking. Gee, what a surprise. And it's going to be all about self-care and self-help. And also, if you're in a position, mentally, physically, whatever, financially even, if that's your choice to help others, what you can do to help others, and we'll get into all the different methods or whatever. Okay. Geek says fair enough on the apes with that. Yeah, unless it's Planet of the Apes, because then they got lawyers there too. Which is another reason I don't want to go to Planet of the Apes. Any places, any place that's got lawyers, I'm out of there. But no, actually, there hashtag not all lawyers. There are some lawyers that do a great job, usually not government ones, but anyway, except for the depending lawyers, and a lot of times they're because the case laws and whatever too, because if a judge says, if you're a lawyer and judge says, guess what, this case is yours, you have to have really good grounds for not taking it. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a couple parking tickets or a murder case or a drug case or money laundering or fraudulent votes or whatever. Of course, fraudulent votes, you're more likely to be Republican, but that's okay. So anyway, so this show is going to be sort of mildly, very briefly, I'm going to mention politics, and then we're just going to skip right past that. So there's a lot of people lately, for a lot of reasons, okay, who have had problems currently, or maybe they've had problems in the past and they're being increased or worse, now or whatever, for a lot of issues, a lot of reasons, I should say, for social issues, for economic issues, for political issues, and it can be draining on you. Joey Fighter says tribal lawyers are often good folks. Good, good, because you need all help you can get. It can be draining on you. It can be, you may be able to get, let's say you're in good health, supposedly, and you're working all day or working all night, whichever, okay, and you come home, you got very small amount of time, leisure before you got to get right back up and, hit the salt mines again. And, so you've got a very limited amount of quote-unquote leisure time, which you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to, if you've got kids, you got to feed them, or a spouse, or whatever, all that stuff in that short amount of time. So that's why a large reason why people hate Mondays, because you kind of put things off as if you can until the weekend, if you have a weekend, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to clean, and now I'm going to do this and that, and whatever, and that a weekend should be rest. I mean, there's a lot of people, it's just not going to happen. I understand that. I did that myself. I worked from 1975 till 2022. So, and some easy jobs and some very, very, very hard jobs, physically hard jobs. So I understand that whole point about, trying to, we'll get into the ways you can ameliorate some of the effects of that, okay? But it's sometimes, it's for helping other people, it is difficult because you got X amount of energy, it's like a bank, you got X amount of energy, and until you deposit your paycheck, until you put that back in, that energy check back in, you only got so much, and it's going down, it's going down. It might get replenished every day, if you're lucky, but it's going down, and you got maybe put some for your family, some for yourself, some for whoever, whatever, okay, and then someone else comes along that you genuinely want to help, but you can't, and a lot of times, I'm one of them. Sometimes people feel guilty because they can't, or they can't do any, I run this little piddly show, on YouTube, and I can't do more than that. I'm on Social Security myself, and EBT, until the government takes it away, but I have very, very limited funds, to help people. There are 4 organizations that I donate $5 a month to. That's all I can donate, which is $60 a year, but still, that's all I can donate, and I like to spread that out because I can donate $20, so I like to spread that out rather than giving. It would be nice to give that 20 to one group, okay, but then I'm not giving anything to the other 3, so I kind of spread it out. That's what I do. Like I said, it's we're living in a fascist shit show right now. I'm not gonna snow you. This is not a Pollyanna show. This is not a everything's gonna be happy and everything's gonna turn out perfect. And I'll tell you right now, you need to get, if you can, you need to get some people around you motivated, some people you work with maybe motivated or whatever, to get some individuals in the government, Democrats, and to get some, so-called centrists, and to get some other people motivated and whatever, because the Justice Department isn't going to save you, and sometimes the court isn't going to save you, So we got to do what we can to push back against this crap. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, it's draining. It's hard as hell. I know that. There's been times that I have not wanted to do this show, and that's why I've cut it down to 1 day a week. There's been times I've not wanted to do this show because it's just too much for me. And I have my own disabilities to deal with as well. So sometimes they're worse, sometimes they're better, given day by day. And sometimes, I do the show on a Sunday, and it's really bad up until like 5 minutes before the show. But I come on and do the show anyway. That doesn't mean, by the way, that I'm going to criticize anybody who can't do that. I'm not going to criticize people who want to do something, gets all ready to do it, and then they're just poof, they can't. Okay, take a break. All right, but we're going to get into that. So when we do that, I remember I mentioned the jokes. Okay, I've heard this before, and it's a longer list. I pared it down a little bit. But like I said, we're in a fascist shit show, so there's a lot of shit. Okay, but there are some ways you can describe that shit. Okay, there are some ideologies or schools of thought that you can use to describe that shit a little better. Maybe parse it out a little bit, separate it out a little bit. Okay, so Taoism, shit happens. Zen Buddhism, what is the sound of shit happening? That's one of my favorites. Hinduism, this shit happened before. Joey says, humans evolved to be comfortable in a community several hundred strong. Sometimes self-care is a shout of community belonging. Absolutely. You know, sometimes you can't. You know, there's times, you know, I'm ADHD, and there's times I'm like, you know what, I don't want to deal with people. And then there's times like, you know, at least for an hour or two, you know, till my social battery runs down, for an hour or two, I'm, you know, like what I do here. I'm a storyteller. I'm slightly loud. I'm kind of the life of the party. I love to tell jokes, funny stories. I don't do one-liners. And relate to people and whatever for an hour to two. And then I need to be home reading a book with nobody else around, and all the lights shut off except for one and no sound. And that's just not like a one-day thing. That's almost every time I get out in the public. So, Hinduism, this shit happened before. Catholicism, if this shit happens, you deserve it. Jehovah's Witnesses, knock knock, shit happens. Scientology, shit happens on page 152 of Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Okay. Which there's an old joke going around. Speaking of jokes, there's an old joke going around in the science fiction fan club / community. I don't know if it's true or not. It might be completely false. Might be, you know, fake news. But the story goes is that a bunch of writers were at a convention, L. Ron Hubbard among them, and they were in a bar and they were slightly inebriated, okay? And somebody bet L. Ron Hubbard, because he'd written other stuff before similar to that. And I don't know if he was, I think he was criticizing, oh, what is his name? Philip K. Dick, and there's another one. Sprague de Camp, and there's a third one I'm thinking of that's really good at making up, you know, in science fiction, making up, you know, different societal structures and religions or whatever. But anyway, somebody bet him, like $5 bet or whatever, that he couldn't make up a religion. And so he supposedly came up with, you know, Dianetics, Scientology. That's the riddle, joke, rumor, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, so Hare Krishna, shit happens. Rama Rama. Hedonism, or hedonism. There's nothing like a good shit happening, and believe me, you know that's the case. Okay. Rastafarianism, which smoked this shit together. My last two and two of my favorites. Okay. Judaism, why does this shit happen to us? And atheism, no shit. So, we're going to get into, I asked a bunch of people, okay, what they did to work on self-care and or to help others, okay? So we're going to get into those responses, and then the show's not going to be uber long today, okay? We're going to get into some classic, common things that you can do, and then I've got 2 videos for you at the end. They're humorous videos, okay? They're not quote-unquote joke videos, by the way, but they are funny. All right, so, because I want to leave it on a positive note, okay? Do you want me to, let's see, I didn't hear the no shit part. It's atheists, okay? So, excuse me, so, Joey Fire says, it sounds simple, but I use a lot of focused meditation moments, excuse me. I use meditation myself. I am a Celtic pagan. I'm an atheist. I don't ascribe to supernatural events or beings, but I use it for meditation and for some formation of my ethical practices and whatever. But I also love Taoism, so philosophical Taoism. And hold on a second, my showrunner is the wrong size here. Okay, so meditation moments and distractions to keep. What the hell? Oh, so we're gonna make this really wide. Okay, there we go. To keep my mind in as stable place as I can. Talking about things helps too. And they said, I hear it helps to find and join organizations who are doing good work. And that's another thing with as humans, we tend to do, when I say tribal, I don't mean like as indigenous. I mean like as in cultural, clan, maybe would be a better word. We tend to do that, us versus them, whether it's red hats or rock climbing t-shirts, clubs, or gym memberships or whatever. Okay, because the smaller the community, the more the smaller the group organization, the more communal sense of belonging and being together that we have. You know, you can join, for example, a writers group that's got 4,000 people in it. You know, it's like a Substack or whatever. I do have a Substack too, by the way. That'll be in the pinned post. And that's cool. You can get a lot of good ideas or whatever. But if you're in a writers group that's got 20 people, it's a lot more intimate. It's a lot closer communication, and I think it's better communication. As long as you're not doing workshops, because let me tell you, writers workshops are not, myself included, okay, I always try to do it, tactfully, but are not necessarily pleasant people, okay? I'm just saying. So, they get out the knives, verbal knives, okay? Claire, who also is, now, anybody that I've named fully, I've gotten their permission, okay, and or they've gotten a page that I mentioned, or whatever. Again, I've gotten their permission first because consent. Okay, Claire, who has the page on Facebook and also a Blue Sky account. What fresh hell is this? Okay, says. Okay, let's go back here. Says their usual self-care is taking time to do her hair and makeup. Not because she's vain, but because of the focus it takes, so I don't think about anything else. It's kind of like meditating for her. She said, I struggle quite often, so I'm usually hiding away in my pajamas. Okay, now as far as the focus part, I did that, and I still do that for meditation and stuff, but you would do that at work. I used to say that I would not bring work home, and I would not bring home to work. Now, sometimes the latter, you can't do that. Your mind is just, whatever. I remember a conversation. I won't get into great detail because it might bother some people, but I remember a conversation where I was really, really bad day, almost to the point of a meltdown, and adding depression on top of that, and spiraling down into depression and everything else. So I'm working in the milk cooler because I was working dairy then. When you stock milk, you stock it from the back because the shelves are tilted. And so I'm stocking milk, and this is like maybe an hour before lunch, okay? And so my boss comes in. Now I have a lot of respect for this woman, okay, and for her boss too. I like both of them. I have a lot of respect for these people. And she came in and came up and she said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And I said, "Sure." While I'm still, shoving the milk in because shit got to get done. And she said, a couple of the other workers noticed that they said that you haven't really been your usual self today, and that you're maybe a little down. And she said, so I came in to see, if there's anything you want to talk about, anything that's going on, if there's any way I can help or whatever. And I'm not saying it hit me wrong, but it hit me strong at that point, okay? And I said, well, I said, her name, I'm not going to give her name. I said, but I need to focus. I said, I appreciate the offer. Okay, you said maybe later, but I need to focus on this right now, because if I don't, I'm going to set this down and I'm going to walk out the store and I'm going to walk into traffic. And she's like, oh, okay, I will leave you alone. And I'm sure they, because they have cameras and whatever, I'm sure they watch me, for the rest of the day or whatever. At least I would have anyway. And so a couple hours later, I went up to her and I said, can we talk, about the earlier thing and whatever, okay? She said, sure. So she took me in the back room, shut the door and locked it, and sat there for 40 minutes, okay, in a store that, that doesn't usually happen unless you're being penalized or fired or whatever. Sat there for 40 minutes and talked with me and asked me a few questions, but just let me kind of vent, okay? Not once did she look at her watch or say, well, I've got to be on the floor in a little bit, or, whatever, or even look, multiple times at the clock, whatever. And there was one, like, right next to us, she just let me talk. And that impressed me even more. If that's venting is a thing that you want to do, you can do that as well. Another one, I think I pronounced her name right. It's Chameleon or Chameleon. Says for self-fighting despair, she says she stays a hell away from social media. I understand that, and sometimes I do. It's not a long break, but a day, 6 hours, whatever. I'll go do something else. And avoiding the news, she said that alone pushes me to do something else that I enjoy even more. Hold on a second here. There we go. Where was I? There we go. She likes to do design work. She also makes and sells jewelry, She said this problem comes for me these days usually from being too in touch with the big world and not enough touch with the local world and the internal world. And that's valid, and I understand that for me too. And her last method is skincare. Turns out she has some skin conditions, and she said when I'm too involved in the out there, they get ignored and go out of control. So we'll get into that too, but health is a reason. One of the people I talked to is a religious person, and he said that it's his faith, okay, and the people surrounding him that also have the same faith, and his dog. I'll have to show maybe trying to think. No, I don't have a picture of it actually. I saw a picture, but I didn't catch it at the time. It's 8.5 weeks old. So absolutely adorable, and he loves dogs. Okay, the last one he had passed away at 13, 14, I think it was. A while ago. I mean, it wasn't a year ago, but it wasn't like 2 months ago. Okay, and so he finally got over it. Got over it, but moved on enough that he was able. Because he loves dogs, he wanted another dog. It was just too soon at that time. And so I don't remember the breed, Mutt, okay, but he absolutely loves the dog. His wife loves the dog, and I'm sure that the dog is going to get, have a great home, okay. Jay, friend of mine, is non-binary person, and said for them, taking time to breathe, reassuring my inner self or my inner child that I'm doing the best I can with the tools I have. That's hold on a second. There. That's an important thing too. Okay, when you set your expectations too high for yourself, you're going to fail. Like this whole thing, for a great example is New Year's Eve resolutions. I've never set one, ever. Okay, I think they're a waste of time. And I think what happens is, here's what happens. Okay, you say, for example, or a diet. It doesn't have to be New Year's, but a diet. So you go on a diet, and you're like, cool, I got on this diet. I've been on this diet for a month. Everything's fine, cool, dandy. And one day you eat 2 pieces of cheesecake instead of 1. And this is technically off your diet. Well, I'm off my diet now. I might as well eat the whole damn cake. So set your expectations closer to what you think you can actually do. It's just a little bit day by day. Excuse me. I quit smoking, as I sit here hacking and wheezing. I quit smoking Samhain, which other people call Halloween. I quit it'll be 21 years ago that I quit. I couldn't, there was no way I could, patches, gums, toothpicks, candy, pills, whatever. None of that was going to work for me, because as soon as I didn't have that crutch and got stressed out, because that was a lot of the reason to do smoking, other than the physical addiction, I'd be back to smoking again. In fact, I quit twice during the time frame that I smoked, which would have been a total of about 27 years. I quit twice for a year, somewhere in that time. Okay, and one day I was driving my truck around and went to the gas station to fill up with gas. Walked into the gas station. Well, think about it. I bought a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Walked back in the truck. Was driving down the road, lit up a cigarette, and had most of it smoked before I realized what I did. And at that point, it's gone. Okay, I got to start all over again. So what I did was I said, and I can't count cigarettes. I can't say, you can only have one after a meal and one, or one, whatever, only in the morning or only at night. So for a long time, what I missed was the one in the morning. Okay, so what I did was I said, what's up, Beast? I said, as far as quitting smoking goes, we're talking again about, things that you can do, and realistic expectations. As far as quitting smoking, no, you're fine. I know people, it's Sunday, people sometimes have stuff to do. What I did was, I had one rule, only one rule, and that was that I could have a cigarette anytime I wanted. Now, at that point, I was smoking probably a pack and a half, maybe a little more sometimes a day. Okay, so that's 30 cigarettes. Okay, that's quite a bit. So my one rule was I can have one anytime I want. I can smoke a pack, I can smoke 2 packs or whatever. But my only rule was I had to push myself to go as long as I could before the next one. And at this point, I was also had a good motivation because I was moving out to DC to live with my boyfriend at the time. And he had asthma. He'd never smoked in his life. He had asthma. And so I didn't want to smoke around him. And I thought, well, if I'm going outside anyway, just quit. Girl, just quit. So what I did was, I did this whole, stretching thing, okay, so I had one an hour ago, maybe an hour and 5 minutes this time, or whatever. And a month and a half, I went from a pack and a half a day to 2 a day. 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And I quit the day I moved out there, which was Samhain, or Halloween for y'all. And it was rough, okay? Especially, you know, quitting smoking the same day you move into move in with somebody and start a new physical relationship was a little daunting, okay? But, you know, at that time, we loved each other, we worked on it, whatever, you know, and we had arguments, you know, like some couples do, you know, but wasn't any knockdown, drag-out arguments, you know, and I've said this before, it is, the important thing is what you argue about, the important thing is how you argue. You know, do you yell and throw stuff and scream and, you know, and call each other names, whatever, or do you sit down, even if you're passionate, do you sit down and, you know, talk to each other and say, well, this is my point, this is your point, and try to work together for a compromise. That's my best advice on that. One of my writer friends, she will also be in the description. Her name and link will be in the description. She has a book site. Her name is Jessica Crichton, and phenomenal writer, a middle grade, what do you call it? Middle grade genre, which is, I think, 10 to 12, I believe. You know, because there's elementary, then there's middle grade, and then you know, young adult is high school. So she's a great writer. She's got multiple books out. You know, I've got her. What is it? Okay, hold on. Right here. Aha! Ho ho hee hee. Let's see. Which cover do I like better? That one's kind of cool. That's the first book. You know, we'll do this one. So I'll have to hold this up long enough so that if you all want to get a really good look at it, okay, maybe bring it down a little bit. This particular one is called Dr. Fixit's Malicious Machine. That's the first book in the series. And then the second one is The Counterfeit Zombies of Knock. And I can't remember what the name of the third one is, because that's back in the bedroom somewhere. So anyway, she's a great writer. You know, you can check out her stuff. I'll have the link in the description. And then we have some random geek. I think that's some guy I know. He does a show before mine. You know, I was on there for until like about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to 3, whatever it was, or well, 2, 3 my time. Yeah. He likes video games. He likes anime. He likes junk food. He likes the idea of doing more cooking. You know, for himself, cooking for himself, taking care of himself. And hanging out with friends when you see the opportunity. Now, here's one of the things I want to mention about that. Okay, it's great if you can hang out with friends physically. Okay, absolutely great. I go to town, so to speak, 2 to 3 times, or 1 to 2 times a week. Yeah, I've heard of them. You know, barely something. You know, to do with the internet or something, right, geek? But I go to Walmart. Oh boy. Once or twice a week, but here's the thing for me, okay, I worked there for 11 and a half years. I'm friends with like 80% of the staff. And I have probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 people on my Facebook from Walmart, including some management members, okay, because they're good people. So I go in there and, you know, I don't talk to them very long unless I see them outside of work, because they're busy. You know, I'm not going to interrupt them, but I'll say hi, maybe stop and talk for a minute or two, and then keep on going. But, you know, that also helps me get out of the house and whatever, too, because I tend to be shut in, especially in the winter. And although, you know, today I did go for a walk earlier because it's, you know, it was kind of cloudy this morning. It's now bright sunshine. It's also only 19 degrees, but it's bright sunshine. Okay, so Nicole says that she naps. She gets a manicure or a pedicure. She gets her hair done. She eats at her favorite restaurant. She will read a book, which we're going to get into watching a TV show. You know, even if it's an episode you've seen 10 times before, doesn't matter. And I've had people ask me before, they're kind of curious why I would do it. Almost every book in my house I've read more than once, like multiple times. I have a ton of books on my ebooks on my tablet, and I probably read, you know, 80% of those at least 3 or 4 times over the years. And people are like, why would you reread a book? And I'm like, why would you watch a movie more than once? You like it, okay? And then also, a perfect example for this, if you want to reread a book and have it new every time, read The Hobbit and the trilogy. Because I'm telling you, he shoves so much information and so many names and whatever in there. Unless you have eidetic memory, there's no way you can remember all of them. So I know that, for example, right now, I haven't read it in years. I know the basic plot. I know if they're going to do this. I know if they're going to do that, with the trolls and the smog and the this and that and whatever, okay? But the individual, not concepts, the individual chapters and, passages and whatever, no. Well, especially with my memory. So these are some things that you can do. Like I said, the show's not going to be hugely long. I got about 10 minutes after I get done with this list. Okay, so these are some things that you can do. Pamper yourself. Something cheap, something easy. It doesn't have to be hugely expensive. If you like pop and you haven't had it in a while, and it's pop, it's not soda. You drink pop, you bake with soda. Do your nails or go to the gym, or if there's a food you wanted to try to make or eat, if you're not up on your cooking, or you just don't feel like it, there's nothing wrong with buying it. If there's some food, like for example, I love Ethiopian food, I love Syrian food, Palestinian food, pretty much anything in the Middle East, okay, and Irish food. Hello, corned beef and Irish food is not just corned beef and cabbage, okay. And things to drink are not just Guinness. Oh, I do like Guinness. I got 3 in my fridge right now, but they're not. It's not just Guinness. You also got Tullymore Dew. You got Jameson. You can make Irish coffee. Oh my God, I love Irish coffee. And here's the thing: you don't make Irish coffee with real brewed or whatever coffee. You have to, for the best flavor, in my opinion, you have to use instant, and you have to have a spoon. I have a video, which I will put up, because I'm going to put up all the videos from the old channel. I'm going to put up on this one, okay? And I'll have a separate, it'll be a separate section. I'm not going to do those anymore, but it'll be like a food section or whatever, okay? You have to have a spoon to make Irish coffee, I'm telling you right now. And some boiling water, and some a cold cup, and some other stuff, okay? Geek says, and cola is a type of pop, and Coke is a specific brand of pop. Absolutely. Geek says I should try Guinness. Okay, so yeah, Jameson is good too. I use Jameson, or I prefer Tullymore Dew, because I don't drink alcohol very much. They're both whiskeys. Okay, I prefer Tullymore Dew to Jameson, but it's like, if I'm wanting whiskey, which is rare, okay, Tullymore Dew is like a 9.9, and Jameson is like a 9.2. I take either one. Whichever one might be cheaper or whatever at the time. But again, I don't drink very much, because I bought 4 years ago. I bought a bottle, or whatever, okay, of I think it was Captain Morgan. Anyway, some brand name, okay, of pineapple rum. I love pineapple, absolutely. It's my favorite fruit, period, hands down. Because I was going to make pineapple rum upside down cake, and then I have an ice cream maker, and I was going to make pineapple rum bacon maple ice cream, which sounds fucking phenomenal, and it did, because I did make it, okay, and it did. But I used pineapple, and I thought, I don't feel like putting the rum in there at that time. 6 months goes by. I have object impermanence, which is if you don't see it, it does not exist. Okay, so I'm in the store. I'm like, I need to make some pineapple rum upside down cake. So I bought another bottle of pineapple rum. So I now have 2 bottles of pineapple rum sitting in my fridge, sitting in my cupboard, that I haven't opened. I bought them 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago. Okay, they're still sitting there. I haven't opened them at all. And I will someday. Okay, eventually. So cook something, or if you like, if you have the money, to go to the fast food place, or I like Tullymore Dew, or if you have just stuff to make it at home, and the skill and the time, whatever, tacos. I love tacos. Okay, I prefer the soft shell because of my teeth condition, but I'll eat some crunchy tacos too. Let me tell you. Unfortunately, my diet, both, which by that I mean what I eat and also how I eat, my diet regimen, has been beneficial enough. I've lost 40 pounds in the last year. My diet has been beneficial enough that I could eat, I don't know, probably 4 tacos today. Okay. A year ago, I could have ate 12 to 15 and still not have been as full as I would today, eating 4. So kiss some happy yourself. Hold on a second. Batman. Okay, reach out for help. Okay, now a lot of people, and they mean well. Okay, but a lot of people will say, oh well, on Facebook you see, I don't. I think that I know that my friends will, 10 of my friends will, pass this number along the hotline. Okay, I mean it's not bad. Okay, but it's okay because I'm not going to go into great detail, but I've had some terminal self-harm attempts. Okay, more than one in my lifetime. I know the hotline numbers. Okay, a lot of us do who have some difficulties in this area. A lot of us do, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, but when we're in that situation, a lot of times we don't want to reach out. Okay, so for example, if you're on the opposite side of that, if you have a friend who you haven't contacted in a couple days, and the last time you saw them, they were having a little bit of a rough time, reach out to them. Send them an email, send them a Blue Sky message or a Facebook message, or God forbid you're still on Twitter, a Twitter message or whatever. Okay, how you doing? Do you feel like getting together? Is there anything I can do for you? I'm kind of bored. Do you want to talk? So don't put that onus on them. Like oh, I've noticed that you're in depression. Do you want to talk? Just say I'm kind of bored. I feel like talking. Do you want to talk? Okay, give them at least the option of having that choice. All right. You also have to be careful with hotlines, because if you're in a situation where it's a bad day, okay, you're having a bad time, and you call a hotline, a few of the hotlines, and it sounds even close to you having that ending kind of situation, okay, they'll call the cops on you to do a wellness check, to do a safety check, okay, and they're doing it, I hate to say this, but they're doing it out of good intentions and ignorance, okay, because we've seen what can happen with a wellness check, okay. If you want to call in this case, I will say it. If you want to call, if they happen to go to have a church or a synagogue or whatever, okay, you want to call them, or you want to call a family member, or you want to call, a social worker. If they're working with a social worker, something like that. Okay, do that. Only the cops in last resort. Okay, because a lot of people have been shot. Some people have been killed doing wellness checks. Okay, and some of those cops have been not only fired, I think the ones I know of have been fired, but some of them have been arrested, gone to court, and been convicted and serving time in prison, which is fine for them, but that person is still dead. So, just keep that in mind, okay? This one is really hard for me, okay? Sleep hygiene, and first hygiene, what the hell does that have to do with it? They're basically talking about sleep patterns and, in connecting everything. Try to make your sleep patterns more regular, okay? I have heart issues. I have veinostasis issues, okay? So I'm on a lot of medications for that. 2 of them are diuretics. Another pill that I take for another reason is a diuretic. Diuretic makes you want to pee, okay? So also with my age, I'm 64. I sleep for 3 hours and I wake up and I go to the bathroom. I'm up for an hour or 2. I sleep for 3 hours. I wake up and I go to the bathroom. I'm up for an hour or 2. I sleep for 2 to 3 hours, and then I'm up for most of the day. It's been that way for decades. Okay, even before I was taking all these medications, whatever, because I've had insomnia since the 70s. Okay, so there are things you can do to like work into a pattern or a routine or a regimen, okay, of going to sleep. So if you can do this, don't read before you go to sleep. Put your tablet down, put your phone down. You might have it next to you in case you need it for emergencies or whatever. But shut that screen off and just shut your eyes and try to go to sleep, if that works for you. If that doesn't work for you, what works for me, okay, I mentioned this in the Social Justice Alchemy show. I remember it was this time or the last time I was there. I read every night. I've been doing this for 25 or more years. Okay, every night I have books on my tablet and I read it while I'm going to sleep. At the same time, I'm listening to a different audiobook, because that's the way my brain works. Okay, and that helps me get it. It's so much of a pattern that if I was sitting here doing nothing else and was reading a book, ebook, or a book on my computer, okay, and listening to a different audiobook, which I can do, I would start getting tired. That's my pattern. Okay. Try not to do this. This is another hard one for me. Try not to do caffeine before you go to bed, whether it's Monster, or it's coffee, or it's pop, or it's whatever. Okay, I tend to drink caffeine while I'm laying in bed, so I'm bad at this one. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do. But I also have been like toning back a little bit on the caffeine. I drink enough caffeine. I've drank over a pot a day for over 30 years. Okay, so it's not like I can just stop tomorrow. I can, and I'll be all right for a day or two because that caffeine is still in my system. And after that, it's not a pleasant sight. But I have started to tone it back a little bit. Okay, so what I've started to do, instead of drinking, say, 4 cups a day instead of 8 cups a day or whatever, okay, I drink the same amount of cups, but I don't make the coffee as strong. All right, so I'm still lowering the caffeine, and I'm still getting the relatively same frequency. Okay, and so I am actually now down to, because my favorite coffee, I blame Joey for this. So regular coffee cup has 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's your restaurant coffee or whatever. Okay. Death Wish, which they sell at Walmart, okay, has 300 to 400 milligrams of coffee in a 12-ounce cup. Okay, that's cool, right? Biohazard, which is my favorite, and it's a cup this size. Okay, so regular coffee is 100 to 200 milligrams. Death Wish is 300 to 400 milligrams, and that same amount of coffee, Biohazard is 968 milligrams. So when I drink that, I usually drink 1 or 2 in the first part of the day, and then I drink regular coffee or whatever after that, because otherwise I wouldn't be going to sleep for a while, even as much as I drink. All right. Things you do: read a book. Geek says blame John Brockman. It's okay, he's white. Well, yeah, okay, so any English, I think he said some English ethnicity. So and I have problems with the English anyway. So yeah, I'll blame him, the fucking bastard. So it's his fault. It's not mine. I'm an American. I can't take responsibility for my own actions. That would be un-American. Anyway, so if you want to eat before you go to bed, just be careful with that. Like if you've got some like I don't have GERD, but I do have some issues with some foods. Very, very small amount. Okay, I love fried chicken. I can't eat it anymore. Okay, even if I'm awake or not, I can't eat anymore. With the breading, it's the breading that I have the problem. Okay, he's an English mutt. Yeah, okay, and he's got the beard, facial hair, and whatever, so he's a mutt anyway. John Brockman's a good guy. Okay, I give him a ration of crap because he is. But if you're eating something, make sure that it is lower in sugar. Obviously not a caffeinated thing. Okay, lower in sugar or whatever. Okay. Maybe a piece, and if you have that habit, and this is what I do now, because I eat one meal before I go to bed for 30 odd years, and it was a big meal. So what I do now is, I don't normally eat a whole lot of bread and butter, okay, or a roll in butter. But what I do every night is I eat one roll, put some butter on it. It satisfies that habit, but there's no sugar in there. Well, the roll isn't, or I'll make my own. Okay, so there's very little sugar in there. Because like regular bread has high fructose corn syrup, which is refined sugar. But so something that gives you a little bit of, hits that habit of eating. It also gives you a little bit of food, okay? And in my case, I can eat a slice of bread and it'll knock me out for 2 hours. It's just the way my system is. And it's not so much that, like especially if you're diabetic, it's not so much that's going to spike your sugar up or down or whatever. Okay, so it's a little safer for that reason. I'm not a diabetic. I have diabetes in my family. I keep an eye on it, but it's a little high, but it's not. I'm not a diabetic yet. Okay. This one's more a physical or a mental thing. Okay. Boundaries. Set boundaries. Okay, and keep them. So this is more like, obviously when you're awake, but this is more like somebody's talking about politics, or somebody's talking about an abusive situation, or somebody's talking about what CPS does. Don't get me started on them. Or maybe it's they found out a favorite author, like somebody who's connected with Good Omens, who turned out to be a huge complete asshole. Okay, and so maybe that's it can be triggering for somebody. What's up, Perrin? It can be triggering for somebody. Okay, so if that's something that bothers you, say, hey, I don't want to talk about that right now. Not that you guys can't, okay? I'm going to go over here. and sit at that table, or I'm gonna go, maybe put headphones on and listen to music for a while, or whatever. Okay, set your boundaries, and keep them. Keep them safe for yourself. Okay, you can, sometimes for some people, okay, the boundaries can be. I don't want to say that people can pass them, but you can adjust the boundaries for different people. Your boundary for this person on that topic might be different than your boundary for this person on, for that person on that same topic. Okay. And the other stuff we mentioned earlier, Perrin, was, pamper yourself, get manicures, pedicures, get your hair done. I always, of course, it's a little shorter now, so I can't, but I always want to braid Perrin's beard. I took a picture of him, gimped it out a little bit with, GIMP is the pre-version of Photoshop. Okay, so it looks like he's a dwarven warrior. I mean, he looks badass. Okay, and he is badass. But anyway, but his beard was longer then, and I'm like, my fingers are twitching. I need to braid that beard so it looks like the dwarven braids, like in Lord of the Rings. Okay. Sleep. We talked about sleep, Perrin. We talked about going to the gym if you can. I can't. I can walk. Okay. When it's good weather, anyway. Because this is Michigan. So a lot of times it's not. And I'm not talking about the temperature, because I can walk around with a t-shirt and a cap and gloves on if it's 25 degrees and it's sunny like it is right now. Okay. And there's no wind. But maybe doing a light exercise, if you're in your chair, sitting at your chair all day, okay, which I do sometimes. I get up every half an hour to 45 minutes and I'll do something. Okay, even if it's, if my house is clean, which is not that clean right now, but if my house is clean, I will get up and I will go set up stuff to maybe make some bread later, or I will get up and I'll just, the way my house is set up, actually I can walk in a, well, I call it a circle, it's a square, but I can walk around like this, and I'll just do that, I will even pick up my tablet and then read it while I'm walking around, because I know where everything is, so it's not like I'm normally, excuse me, sorry, coffee break, not like I'm going to bump into something, and I'll read my tablet while I'm walking, and I actually walk more that way, because I don't pay attention to my walking, how much I'm walking. Try to eat better. Notice I did not say eat healthy. A couple of reasons for that. Okay, number one, people's definitions of healthy vary. Okay, what may be healthy for me may not be healthy for you. I have some friends on Facebook who have celiac disease and are actually allergic to gluten, not just, I don't feel like it. I have some friends that have a couple of people that I follow on Facebook had a disease that I didn't know what it was, and I had to look it up, and they're really restricted on what they can eat. And it's not anything to do with flavor, it's just their body can't handle whatever that particular food happens to be. And we're talking like natural, or, we're not talking processed food either, okay? Sometimes you can't eat certain things due to, I'm autistic, due to taste or texture. And you don't have to be autistic to have that either, but due to taste or texture issues, okay? I tried okra, or not okra, I tried chitlins once. I will never do that again, okay? Lima beans, I had them a couple times in my life, and, that's probably like 10 times too many. I hate lima beans with a passion. I have been homeless, and I have on occasion eaten stuff out of the dumpster. But if there's like a whole pot of lima beans in there, I'm not touching that sucker. Not a chance. It might be due to money, because, oh my God, y'all know, okay, I don't have to, this is not something new to you, okay. Healthy food is expensive as shit, okay. Like I like the Mornings, for example, with the non-meat products, okay. I like Morningstar Farms sausage links and sausage patties. They taste like sausage, okay. I don't know how they do it, but they taste like sausage. I don't really care what the origin of the food is. I care what the taste is like, okay. I have never had a fake bacon, whether you call it fakin or turkey bacon or whatever, that tastes like bacon. Not happening, okay. But I only eat bacon like once a month anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But health issues, like, if you eat, Joey and I were talking about this either today or yesterday. If you want to eat healthy food, okay, and you go to the store to buy lettuce, to buy tomatoes, not canned tomatoes, not sauerkraut, not whatever, okay, not canned peas or canned corn or whatever. Although I love canned sweet corn. Um, it's cheaper for you. Okay, you can get more, but it's also not as good for you as quote unquote healthy food. Okay, but that shit's expensive. Like, I don't know what the cost is right now, but the last I knew, it was around $8, six or $8, something like that, for the local Walmart for a dozen eggs. What the hell? Okay, and I know they have some problems with avian bird flu and whatever out in California and a couple other states. Okay, so I understand all that they could be a little higher, but holy crap. And they were high before the 1st of January. They went from the local store had them in end of September, 98 cents for 6 eggs, okay, in a little half carton. By the end of December, it was $3.15. And the last time I checked, 2-3 days ago when I went in the store, I didn't look at the dozen eggs, but the 6 eggs was $4.63 or 65 cents or something like that. Okay, ridiculous. So you can't eat quote unquote healthy. You have to eat lots of macaroni and cheese and tuna. Well, tuna fish is actually expensive now too, but lots of macaroni and cheese and rice dinners and whatever. I've been poor all my life, so I know how to make that stuff spread out, whatever. But it's still not as healthy as would be beneficial to a lot of people. Mild exercise, like I said, mild exercise. A lot of people go to the gym for a lot of reasons, and they love it, and that's cool. Okay. I can't. I have arthritis. I have other health issues. I can't. Like I said, I do walk around my apartment. When it's good weather, I walk around the block. It's only one block, but if I walk around the block once, that's more than I walked around in my apartment in an hour. Okay? So that helps. If you're sitting in your chair, like I said, get up, maybe do some stretches. I'm not saying you have to sit there and do jumping jacks, you used to do when you were, in grade school or whatever, but, do a little bit, do some stretching, whatever. You don't even have to get out of the chair. If you're not capable of doing that, maybe do some stretching, with your arms, whatever, okay? Break it up a little bit. And also, I've seen this on Facebook the other day, and when I read it, I realized that's what I was doing. Unclench your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're watching, whatever you're reading, unclench. Even if you can only do it for 10 seconds, you'll be amazed at what that can do for you. All right? One of the favorite things that Joey likes to say at the end of the show, which is cool, is hydrate. Okay, now that doesn't mean that you need to drink 65 gallons of water a day. Okay, and there are some cases where that can be dangerous, too much water. But generally, I remember a statement quite a while ago that said it's all right to be a little hungry, but it's better to be not thirsty. Okay, so if you get water, whatever, now coffee, even though it dehydrates you, is still water. Pop, especially if it's the diet, the sugar-free or whatever, is, like the diet, well, they call it lemon lime at Walmart. It's Diet 7-Up. Okay, Diet 7-Up, which I love, okay, is pretty close to water. Okay, pure water for you. It's got high fructose corn syrup in it, but, as far as the actually, I don't think it does. I think it's got aspartame or whatever the heck it is, some kind of sweetener anyway. Things like that. I still wouldn't, drink, tons of diet pop a day, but do things that can help for hydration. Okay, maybe if let's say you're making soup. Okay, and I love soup and stew. Okay, I usually, for my stews, I usually have a little bit less water than a lot of people because I like it thick. It's almost like a gravy. Okay. Use it for dipping crackers in, or leave a regular amount of water and use dipping bread and whatever, something, because you'll get liquid that way too. Like I said earlier, cook a favorite meal, cook a favorite food. If you don't have the skills, talent, time and space, spoons to cook, you have the ability to get it in some way, shape, or form, either buy it or ask someone to make it for you, whatever. Do that. Hey, cousin Fred, I know that you like to do potato dishes a lot. Could you make some colcannon for me, which is fancy schmancy Irish mashed potatoes? Okay, it's got cream and onions and cabbage and a bunch of other stuff in it. Absolutely phenomenal. But something like that, or tacos or whatever. Whatever a favorite food you like is that you don't eat a lot. Pizza. I don't care. Do that. Do that as a treat for yourself. Um, this one is really important for me, and in fact, I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. Then we're going to get into a couple of things, and we're going to do the video, very short, and then we're going to do videos. Okay. So one of the things I do is what I call online therapy, and it's not talking to a therapist. It's not talking to a friend. Oh, you can do that, obviously. It is solo therapy, and what it is it's going to YouTube. YouTube. It's going to YouTube, and I stay away from politics. Okay, when I do this, because I need this. Okay, so I stay away from politics. So I split it up to two topics. Okay, one is science videos. I love almost anything to do with science, paleontology especially, which is dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts and whatever. Okay, also geology. There's a really good video on YouTube called "How the Earth Was Formed." I love that one. Cosmology, black holes, physics in general, quasars, how the universe was formed, all kinds of stuff like that I love. And the other is music reaction videos. And also music videos, but mostly music reaction videos. And what I really like, I'm a boomer, so I grew up with classic rock and whatever, like I remember walking across the base in 1979 on a station in Germany, and this guy had a stereo, and it was just cranked. And he's out the window. He's not working that day. It's just cranked. It's summertime, and it was Van Halen's "Fooling with the Devil." It was absolutely. And it was the first time I heard the song. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I got to get it. So I like watching music reactors, especially with classic rock and other folk music, because what I like is watching somebody that enjoys, say. There's a video of John Denver and Peter, Paul, and Mary singing "Leaving on a Jet Plane," okay, together, and I like watching reactions to that. For younger people, well, like somewhere in their 40s, okay, but they're still younger for me, okay, all the way down to in their 20s, watching that for the first time and enjoying it. That's absolutely awesome for me. It lifts my spirits up. Also watching music videos in general, okay. A lot of my favorite artists, and I like all kinds of music. And when I say all kinds, it's not like the Blues Brothers movie where I believe it's Jake asked the wife of the owner of the bar, what kind of music do you have here, ma'am? And she goes, "Oh, we got both kinds, country and western." Coffee break. But I listen to soul, and I listen to rap, and I listen to blues. And now, not rhythm and blues, although I like rhythm and blues, but blues like Muddy Waters, Little Walter, John Coltrane, etc. I listen to classic rock, of course, folk music. I'm not real overly fond of doo-wop music so much in the 50s, but like probably say 1960 to 2000 is my favorite time frame for music. And of course, my two favorite artists of all time, which are Sinead O'Connor and Karen Carpenter. So you can do that too. So let's see. Let me scroll down here. So we're gonna do two videos. Okay, I got these videos for you. So let me bring this up here. Okay, hold on just a second. Yep, that's the one I want. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of back scene stuff here for just a second. Okay, so is it this one? I think. Nope, but it will be. Okay, so give me just a second here. Sorry, copy burp. Window capture. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to automatic. It's 10, 11, whatever. Okay. Yep, that's the one. All right. So both of these videos are funny, in my opinion. Okay. I think both of them have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. So I'm not the only one, obviously, who thinks that. Okay. I want to make sure, and I'm just going to let them run. So and I will stop the first one halfway through, and we can talk about it a little bit. Okay. They're both 3 minutes long. So we're, like I said, we're just about at the end of the show. Okay. So you can see all my adjustments here. I didn't realize I didn't have it called up, so I had to do this live from New York. No. So, all right. So let me make sure the volume on this is turned up. Da-da-dee, da-da-dee. And let's see. Desktop audio properties. No, that's not what I wanted. Advanced audio properties. Is that what I want? Yes, I don't want balance. Volume. I think I may have to change that if it's not. Hold on a second. Let me check this here. Nope, I can do that. Okay, so let me go back to this. I'm going to turn the volume up on this. If it's too loud on your end, feel free to turn it down, obviously. But I want to make sure you can hear it because the first one, the volume's kind of low. So I may have to turn the second one down a little bit. So if it's too loud or it's too soft or whatever, let me know, please. All right, so we're going to go 75%. Here's me go to 75%. Whoops, close enough, 76. Close enough for going to work. All right, so here we go. Let's get this thing started. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. All right, so let me go back to my YouTube. Where's my YouTube at? La-da-dee. So I make sure this starts properly. Okay, so there's two videos here. Like I said, they're both like 3 minutes and 3 seconds or something like that. So they're not hugely long. All right, so let's make sure this is going here and let's see what we got.
Julia, what's that on the footpath?
Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, we're afraid of it.
Hey, did you say I'm afraid of it? No.
So there's two videos here. Like I said, they're both like
It's
3
a
minutes.
classic horse
Okay, that
trade.
should be loud enough. Let me know if it's not.
I want to know what it is. Can you please
I
tell me
love
if it's
this one. I
dangerous?
saw this one like a year ago or whatever, and
I'm
absolutely fell in love with it.
Do you want dinner?
Yes, I do.
You have to brave the bunny.
Bunny. What's a bunny?
Domino pushing. Pie.
Hey,
Really?
don't encourage us to fight. Don't push me, Domino.
Don't push me, Domino. I will have the links to the guy who made this and the musician in the second video. I'll have those links down below where you can go and check them out. This particular guy, it's obviously animal voiceover, does a lot of stuff like this, and he's absolutely hilarious. Not as good as maybe the honey badger. Okay, Randall. Oh my God, I should do that one again. But maybe next show or whatever. But this
So
one.
it's understandable that we're a bit apprehensive, okay? That thing
I don't know,
pretty much
not the
destroys-
bunny.
It's a bunny.
And it's
you keep saying bunny.
you know,
That's it.
Tell us
first
what
time I
it
saw
does.
this,
What
I
can it do?
immediately
It
thought
does.
of
It's just a bunny.
Monty
Can it
Python.
eat us? Answer
Rabbit.
the fucking
You know, in the
question,
Holy Grail.
Julia.
She's not fucking answering. It can eat us. It's a yes when she doesn't answer.
Domino can't even see it. He just doesn't know.
I can hear you. Don't talk about me going blind.
Come on.
Don't
No.
talk about me.
Scared away.
I don't think it looks like a creature that gets scared easily, Julia.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me
You're killing me,
or
huh?
Domino.
Except that I'm going blind as
I'm
mentioned.
getting a bit closer, okay? Oh no, I don't like it. I don't fuck
Yeah,
no.
come back
And
here.
obviously this
do it.
wasn't
Let's go
staged.
the long
Horses
way.
are just like, what the hell is that?
We're going the long way.
What? Come
Is
on.
that what you want?
It's not what I want. I told you I'm fucking starved, and I really want to get
Let's talk.
my teeth and my horsey tongue into some tucker.
Yep.
Can
Into
we
some
just go the
tucker.
long way?
Yep.
Let's go back to the other path.
Yeah,
Come on.
I agree.
Let's go.
No, we're going the long way.
Domino, what do you reckon?
I
Horse
reckon
is
we
like,
go
"The
the
hell
long
with
way.
you, I'm outta here."
100%
Yeah.
fine.
I'm not even
See?
Come on.
close to them, by the way.
Yeah,
You are close.
And if you're getting an echo because of my audio,
You're
let me
using
know.
a wide
Okay.
camera lens. You got it on that 0.5 wide mode. I don't want to go.
Yeah, no, it's dangerous.
I know, right? Like, this thing
Horses
could
are
eat
like,
our
I ain't
face
going.
off, and she doesn't
Yeah,
even
but your
care.
rabbit ass
Doesn't
mine. I ain't
care.
going up there.
Circling back.
Okay. I don't like being in front.
Look at it. It is terrifying.
I'm circling back.
Let's just go, Domino. Let's fuck off out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, and I'm gonna
We are
pause this for a
going.
second.
No,
Giddy up.
we'll see ya.
Seems like
Come
lightning.
on.
You can whistle all
Okay.
you like. No,
This video is funny, but it's this video is I picked this video because it's funny. I thought it was amusing. Okay, the second video is sort of kind of the theme of the show. So it's not only is it funny, but it's also kind of a good advice. I'll put it that way. Okay, so let's get back to these. This is almost done. There's like a little less than a little over half a minute left.
Alright.
Whistle all you like.
Alright,
And,
let's get it
Whistle
over
all
with.
you like. We ain't coming.
It makes me want to go.
Julia, no, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Get money.
Just
Just
Julia.
look at the ranch.
Oh no, not the bully! anything but the bunny.
Towards us.
No, it's okay.
Oh, phew.
Is that better?
It went that way.
Yeah.
It went into the bush.
Can we get on with our lives now?
Okay.
Okay, I think it's gone deep into the bush. I'm okay with that. I never want to see it again.
Out of sight.
I never want to
out
see
of
it
mind.
again.
Let's go.
I can't really do that accent,
We're
but
coming.
it's sort of, you know.
You're the best. You're
Butcher
a
it.
human.
That's about the
You're
best I can
brave.
do.
You're courageous.
Such an idiot.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta pause this.
I tried.
Okay, we're gonna start this all over. Now, some of you might have seen this. Okay, this very famous video. I think he's got millions of views on this. I don't remember exactly what, but he's got a ton. Okay. There. Okay, so yeah, I paused it. Okay, so I know he's got a ton. Okay, and he also has a couple. I think a couple albums out. I know the album that this was on is out, but he's got a couple more. So again, I will have the link to his channel. You know, this is all his. You know, I don't claim any ownership of this or whatever. Okay, it's a fan video. Okay, that I made to showcase this and to also help with the theme of the show. Okay, but go to his channel, give him a like, give him a subscribe. That's free. Okay, you know, doesn't cost you anything. Check it out. All right. So let's get back to this because we're just about done. Again, this one is only like 3 minutes long, but I love this video. Very intimate setting.
I tried, and I tried even more. I cried, and I can't recall what for. I pressed, I pushed, I yelled, and begged in hopes of some success. The inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have run dry. I tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, the more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt.
Genius having this stuff too.
I strive to get everything done. I play by all the rules, but I very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I would have laughed, alas, to no avail. I've run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck fuse has just blown. I've been eating for my fucks all day, but about and fucked off home. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck rations are depleted. I've rallied my fuck army, but it's been fucking defeated. The effort has just not been worth the time or the expense. I've exhausted all my energy for minimal recompense. The
might even do a cover of this.
commitment
Probably sing not as good as him, but it could probably
has
sing
now
close.
begun to go, and I've come to realize that I don't give a fuck. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have flown away. My fucks are now so fucked off they refuse to fucking stay. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have gone insane. They come back round and pass me while they're fucking off again. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have all dissolved. I plan many projects, but my fucks won't be involved. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have all been spent. They fucked off from the building and I don't know where they went. I've no more fucks to give. I've no more fucks to give. I've no more fucks. I've no more fucks. I've no more fucks to give. Thank you very much.
All right. So let's get back to the regular screen here. I know that y'all's just playing it for a few seconds more. Where the hell is my YouTube? It's my YouTube. Okay. So that was Thomas Benjamin Wild Escar. I can't say it right. Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire the Third. Okay. So you know, there's a lot of people got no more fucks to give. I'm sorry, you know. So you know, it's okay. You know, it's okay to have no more fucks to give. You know, they're joking. You know, but it's also, you know, it's all right to not give a shit to some extent. Okay, to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna read a book. I'm gonna, you know, eat and fall asleep. I'm gonna do whatever. Take a long bath, a hot shower. You know, maybe take a walk. You know, if you got good weather and the spoons or whatever. Okay, whatever you need to do. Okay, take care of yourself. And then remember also, Joey says that song was bound to become an instant classic. Yeah, he's got some other good ones too. I don't want to, you know, like do one every week, you know, because then I might run into copyright issues. But yeah, he's got some good ones. And again, when I do the pin post, all these links and everything that I've talked about, the rabbit video, the rabbit video, rabbit and horse video, Thomas's video, all that will be in the pin post. You know, do what you need to do to keep yourself going. Okay. You know, I remember a long time ago, I was reading about some self-harm attempts and how people got through them. You know, and not everybody does. Okay, and I'm not criticizing anybody who doesn't. But you know, some of them were like, one person was like, you know, I stayed here to take care of my cats. That's the only reason I stayed here to take care of my cats. And another person responded to them was like, good. Okay, stay here to take care of your cats. You know, that's a beneficial thing. Okay, not only are you still here, but you know, it helps your cats out, or you know, helping a friend out, or whatever the reason is. Okay, because, and like I said, you know, if you're able to do it, 'cause not everybody can, but if you're able to do it, community helps. Okay, and the last point here, community doesn't mean just you know, going down to your local rec center, or you know, to a basketball court or a gym, or you know, a library. Although libraries are awesome, I've been in libraries since I was, you know, preteen, or whatever. Okay, do an online community like this. Okay, or, and it doesn't have to be my channel necessarily either, but do an online community like this, or a social justice alchemy, or you know, talk to a friend. And I'll get to that real briefly, but talk to a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Okay, whatever. Okay, have that connection, and especially if you can do, if it's all right with them, if they can do it too, a video chat, because yes, it's not in person. Okay, but it's the next best thing. You know, we used to have when I was a kid, we used to have all these science fiction shows and comic books and whatever that talking about. Oh, it was a big thing. You know, where you could video chat with somebody. Okay, or across the world. Well, I can do that now. If they were awake, I can talk with somebody who's in England, or Africa, or China, or Russia, or Australia, or whatever. Okay, so you know, have that connection. Get it as much as you can, as much as you want to have. Okay, and have that connection that helps keep you going. Okay, because we're going to get through this only by, in part. Okay, you know, we need to have some efforts, okay, from some leadership, but for us personally, okay, you know, it's so easy to say, you know, person so and so, you know, needs to get off your ass and do something, which they do, okay, but that might affect me positively, you know, down the road or whatever, or if they're you know, doing a lawsuit, whatever, okay, but what does that do for me day by day? What is that, you know, if I'm down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for whatever reason, okay, whether it's circumstances or I have some conditions that, you know, give me depression or whatever, okay, what is that future thing going to do for me that it might not happen for 2 days or a week or a month? Okay, so do whatever you need to do to keep yourself going. Okay, and if you keep yourself going, then you'll keep, you know, you'll be able to help other people going. Okay, and the last point here, and it is the last point. Okay. So let me find my, alright, where are you, you wee bastard? Let me find my software. Okay, so the last point there, and this is for other people, for you too, okay, but this is for other people. Let's say you have a friend or a family member, okay, you haven't contacted him in a while. I'm going to tell you a very short story, for me. I'm Irish, so it's, you know, hard to do that, but there was a super good friend of mine. She's the first person I came out to other than anybody in my family, okay, years ago. Her name was Jenny, and she had a boyfriend at the time, was Angelo, and they eventually got married. Okay, she went to the local college here. In fact, I think I met her at one of the collegiate groups, okay, because it was a collegiate group for book lovers or whatever, and if it's a book, I'm there. Okay. So we met and we were talking and whatever, and come to find out, at that time, I was, I guess you could call it agnostic atheist, whatever. I just wasn't sure about anything, didn't know anything, whatever. A lot of times I still don't know anything, but and she happened to be in that group. She's talking about her being a pagan, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. And that's not a common reaction from a lot of Michigan Irish rednecks. Okay, so we got to be friends, and we got to be really good friends, and good friends enough that we were roommates for a year. I had 8 other roommates, but we were roommates for a year and still got along afterwards. That's some good roommates, good friends. So we kind of, moved apart. I ended up moving to D.C. She graduated a year before I moved to D.C. and married her husband, boyfriend, and married him, and then moved down to Muskegon, where she's from originally. And we talked with each other once in a while, email, whatever. We kind of, got out of touch. So one day I thought, this is probably 15 years ago. I thought, I haven't hollered at Jenny in a while. I'm going to look her up. I know a lot of the places that she frequented, that she hung out, whatever, online, groups and clubs and whatever, Ferris, which is the university here. I'm going to go look her up. And I couldn't find her anyway. So I thought, okay, so I'll just look online in general. Sorry. I went online to look for her, and I found her obituary. And her husband's obituary. Now, Jenny was 12 years younger than I am, so it was, she didn't really have any health issues, as far as I knew. Same for her husband, so it was completely unexpected, and it was a hell, obviously, with her family, it's even worse, but it was a hell of a body blow. Because, here was, at the time, one of my absolute best friends. If I walked out of the house and there was a $100 bill lying on the table, I know it'd be there when I got back. She wouldn't touch it at all. She would, even better, if I had a pint of ice cream in the freezer, she wouldn't touch it without getting permission from me first. Okay. So, she's gone. I could have reached out earlier, maybe another 5 years before that, 10 years before that, whatever. Okay. So like I said, I posted about this a couple times before on Facebook. I won't get to talk to her now. I won't get to tell her about, my ex-boyfriends, and the fact that I tend to date mama's boys. I won't get to tell her about my cats. I won't get to tell her about my going to school. I won't get to tell her about my writing. I won't get to tell her about how much I valued her friendship and her love and her loyalty. And I just won't be able to. And you can't turn back time. So, if you have somebody you want to talk to, family member, a really close friend, whatever, and they don't have to be, necessarily in trouble at that point. Okay, family member, a very close friend, you haven't talked to in a couple of weeks. Doesn't have to be years, in a couple of weeks. Okay. I was going to say call them, but a lot of people don't answer their phone nowadays, okay? But if they do, call them, text them, email them, message them on Facebook or Twitter or Blue Sky or, Instagram or whatever, okay? Text them on your phone, whatever, okay? Reach out to them. Contact them, let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know that you care. And say, hey, you want to yak for a little bit or whatever. If you're busy, that's fine, okay. But at least reach out to them, okay, because you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, she was 12 years younger than I am, and it was just, there was no way I was expecting that, okay, because now I won't get to. And I'm sorry, Jenny and Angelo. I should have reached out to you sooner. And now I can't. So, that's the end of the show. Thank you for stopping by. I'm waiting for Joey's line. I'll let Joey say it, okay? Because they like to say it. Okay, so I'm waiting for Johnny. Here's Johnny. Joey's line. If you like the show, if you like this particular episode or whatever, you can look back at other episodes. Reach out to people. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Give me a comment in the comment section below. You liked the show, you didn't like the show. Also, like maybe something that you do other than what I mentioned, or even if it is something that I mentioned for self-care, maybe something you've done for someone else for self-care. Kind of share that along, okay? Make it into a little community, at least on this, on this video anyway. Reach out to people, give them an example of what you like to do, or what you've done for other people, okay? So, where's my obs, okay? So, I am gonna, what time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Oh, it's 5 o'clock, okay, close enough. It's been an hour and a half, that's about what I've been doing, so that's fine. So, remember to reach out to people. Tell, the people that you love, let them know that you love them, that you care. Hydrate, take your medications if you need to, take care of yourself, take care of others. That's a rough topic for me sometimes. Slán, which is Irish for goodbye.